Hey guys, I'm Scott TNT Tannenbaum. We're here at the TNT MMA Training Center in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm here with my son Kyle. Several years ago, I was modifying the Americana technique, and today what I want to share with you is those modifications, which I feel has revolutionized the Americana itself and gives you a lot of different capabilities to do with it. Much more secure, more effective, can do it from more positions, and so on and so forth. So let me go ahead and share that with you right now. So I'll kind of lay down for me. Okay, so first I'm going to show it from side control position. So I got a nice tight side control here. I have both hands scooping underneath his shoulder. My head's nice and low here. Now, typically when you get to this position, your opponent likes to frame your head away to relieve some pressure, right here. As he does, I'm not gonna push back down. Instead, I'm gonna sit through, pull up his arm to a kesikatami, in this position here. I'm gonna reach up. Be careful not to lift your elbow too high. I wanna keep that fairly tight. And I secure his wrist right here to my chest. Once I have this connected to my body, I'm gonna sit back through and go back to side control. I roll my chest over on his arm, so my body weight, not my arm strength, is forcing his wrist to the mat. I want his wrist touching the mat. This hand simply rolls over. So I go from here, and as I come down, this hand turns over. And notice where my thumb is, right in the crook of my elbow. From here, I keep both my elbow down and my fingers on my hand, and I raise my wrist right here. Now, several advantages to this position over the typical Americana. Typical Americana, I'm gonna push down here, especially with people with very flexible shoulders. Sometimes it's difficult to get. I'm gonna slide down and pull up. You see how much more time that takes versus a very subtle movement here. The problem with the tip, there's not a lot of pressure on his shoulder right now. So as I lock this up, he can turn into it. Go ahead and turn into it, grab your own wrist. Yeah, from here, and from here it's difficult to get back, and I start pulling in, now it's becoming arm wrestling. So watch what happens. Once I'm here and I secure this, he tries to turn in to grab his wrist. Go ahead. He can't, it makes it worse. He actually submits himself. Can you turn in at all? No. Okay, see? He's done right here. Now, here's some other advantages as well over the typical Americana. See, I come under the head, right? You cannot do anything from here. I'll never be able to submit him here in a standard Americana. With the TNT Americana, I come under, I got it just the same, okay? So I can actually secure this lock without ever coming under his head. Because his head is in the crook of my elbow, there's no need to put my thumb in the crook. I just want to come up, as high as I can on my wrist or forearm right here, and it's the same motion. My elbow stays down, and I push my fingers down, raising my wrist up. Another advantage to this, I could never do an Americana from kesikatami position. It's just not happening here. However, the TNT Americana, again, I'm lifting up that shoulder, bringing it down. I don't even have to get his wrist fully to the mat. As long as my wrist is under his shoulder, I'm good. All I do again is I flex, and I have a very fast submission here, okay? So a lot of advantages here over the typical Americana. This is the only Americana I teach my students. It just changes the whole game. Much more difficult to defend, and you're able to hit it from a lot more positions as well. One position that I haven't visited yet is from the mount. Works just as well from the mount. From here, again, I like to start out with this underneath his shoulder, pushing it to the mat right here and here. And I flex. Typical Americana, one thing I have to be worried about is out here, if he tries to bridge and roll or do an upa to me here, it starts putting me off balance. I could lose it, or I could lose position overall. Watch what happens with the TNT Americana, bridge into me. It makes it worse. So any type of typical escape that my opponent would try to make, it'll actually submit him. He won't be able to do it at all. So Guys, I hope you enjoyed this technique. Again, start practicing this. Remember, TNT Americana, invented right here at TNT MMA Training Center. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.